We're back.
Worried about it.
We're back. And Jen's tripping.
We're not back
I mean,
yet.
literally her feet.
Wait, we're doing emos?
Yeah, we thought we'd introduce the public to a brand that
And
they
we're
had
getting
very
right
little
into the
familiarity.
food this time.
Is it pronounced emos? I thought imos. No.
I think
Yeah, we'll
I've
have some
always
fun
said
with
emo.
that.
I think IMOs if you're from out of town. But I will say this. I'm glad we're doing emos, and I'll tell you
not-
why. Number
oh,
one,
are
because
we
I like
on?
emos. We're on.
Oh, okay.
We're live. But I'll tell you why else I'm
Passes for
glad.
live.
Because there was some controversy over the name of the podcast and a concern that calling it Three Lawyers Eating Sandwiches pigeonholed us. And I want you to look right here, audience. That ain't a sandwich. I'm not going to make it into one. We are using our creative license. We are allowed to eat whatever we'd like. We are not going to be held to sandwiches if we don't want to be.
We're not going to be in a sandwich box.
That's
We're
right.
free
That's right.
people.
A lunchbox.
It's sandwiches
Yeah.
with
We
an
won't be in
asterisk.
that.
The hell with you
We're gonna eat what
people.
we feel
We'll
like
eat
eating.
whatever we damn
Yeah.
well
Yeah,
please.
it's just a name that you become
Get
familiar
over it.
with.
Get over it.
And not only will we eat non-sandwiches, but we will choose a brand that really doesn't even need us to
That's
promote
right.
it. I don't know that there's anybody in St. Louis that isn't familiar with emos, but I'm guessing they usually eat the pizza and may not know that they have salads and pastas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, it's the Three Lawyers Eating Sandwiches.
All right, it is.
No.
Look at me, hold that box up like you had it, Ed.
Okay.
And so that way he can grab the steel from our footage. Stick that right there.
I've got some napkins for those of you who aren't monsters.
Could we do ice cream sandwiches?
Oh yeah,
We
without
can
question.
do whatever
In
we
fact,
want.
you know
I like
what?
ice-
Clementine's has reached out to me 3 times to try to be on
Really?
Three Lawyers
You know
Eating
what?
Sandwiches.
You know
I
what?
find
Let's do
it the
Clementine's
worst
because
Ice cream place because they have nothing I like.
well,
Well,
let's try to be a
yeah.
little more gentle. I think the ice cream is great. I just wish it was more regular flavors.
Yeah, traditional
Throw in a
flavor.
couple of regular.
You know, like
Wait, this show, we're already on the show.
No, we're not. Are you kidding me? No, they're doing their own show.
like
Yeah,
What are you
we're gonna have
talking
to
about?
start
Do
over.
a shot of the pizza first.
Yeah.
I want you guys to just look at me.
So do we have to start everything over? The cameras are running, right?
They were, but it
Okay,
was
all right.
all Jen and
They're still
and
running. We're
Steven.
just taking a moment to give you a still shot.
we're just getting into it.
One.
Reason why is because most of that beginning
Yeah.
is
I was in the way.
in front of our.
That's fine. We're talking. That's fine. That's fine.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Y'all look hungry.
It's 2024, Steven.
All right.
Okay.
We can do what we want to
Take
do.
the food off. You guys will open, and then I'll bring it back when you call me. No, we're open.
It's here. It's there.
Doing this.
All right.
The,
you know what? Actually,
You're not taking my. I wish you
let me
weren't trying to
suggest
take
this
my
to you.
food away.
'Cause I know that we
Can
went.
I-
Yeah.
We
Can
introed.
I finish my
We're back.
thought on Clementine?
I think.
Well, I don't know that we really introduced that, and I don't.
I just think when you go to
Season 1 of Three Lawyers Eating Sandwiches, episode
Whatever
5
emos.
or
Don't
6.
number them.
Season,
It's
yeah,
true.
episode emos.
Episode emos.
where we can eat pizza. We don't have to eat sandwiches. We can recap, but I hope all that was captured on camera.
It was captured. It was
Even if Jen
sloppy,
was in the
but
way.
and
whatever. Listen,
look outside at the beach. We're remote
boy.
from.
Do me a favor. Can
Con.
you hold your hands
I look outside.
like
I
this?
see Ragazzi's.
No,
Stick
we're
out your tongue
They
and
don't know
smile,
we're at
please.
Cannes at the film festival.
Is that right? Can I just tell you something here? In all seriousness, because we've all had emos a million times.
Yeah.
We're from St. Louis. We've eaten this.
We're from St. Louis.
I think
of course
that
we eat
people
emos.
might think, well, people might think, why are they revisiting emos? You know, sometimes you got to circle back to the classics and remind people that while it's always great to support the new ventures, we have to remain loyal to the staples that have made St. Louis what it is. And I think emos is definitely on a short list of those
Yeah,
staples.
Now, you know what we did here? There's a little
and they're
twist.
fine people too.
They are.
I know some of the emos really nice.
Everybody I've ever known that's been affiliated with them,
No,
I
they're
like.
good
A
people.
little
But I mean, look
twist
at
to
that.
our
It's
order
beautiful.
today. What we did is we put the call out on social media. What is your favorite emo's order? And so we let the people decide what we're eating today.
You
You
decide.
decided it. Turns out you like pepperoni. No.
So I can't tell
Now-
you what we're
What a
eating, to be
contest.
honest.
but
There you go.
but there are limits on
piece.
this principle, aren't there?
There are.
Yeah,
No
we're
limits.
not going to just eat anything these people tell us.
Okay, now what is this one that you just handed me?
I don't
Andy?
know
This
what
looks
any of
like-
them are.
I'm seeing bacon, onion, and maybe
Jen,
mushroom on
why
there.
don't
that's
you
a bacon, onion,
let
and
us know?
mushroom
Talk into the mic.
Clever.
Is it on?
believe
Now,
that's sweet
this is
heat.
this one looks good. What is this? What is this
That's
one?
Deluxe.
I like
This
a
is deluxe. Deluxe is great. That's Sweet
Classic.
Heat, the other one?
The other
Here.
one's sweet heat.
This
then
is where
the-
you wanna be.
The lighter
Of course.
one was a recommendation from Tammy Holland. It is creamy garlic with
Ooh.
chicken, onion, and green pepper.
Which one?
That's
This
this
one?
one. Yeah.
See,
okay.
this was
a
a great
don't
idea
use that.
because I feel like at places like Emo's especially, you kind of get caught
Like a couple of those.
in a routine. You probably always get the same thing. And I like that someone else is choosing things that we would not normally get, although I would
Let me ask you
definitely
a
get a
question.
deluxe.
At what age
Yeah.
do you transition your pizza taste? Because every little kid I know, they just want cheese pizza.
Yeah.
And then at some point, they're maybe willing to try pepperoni. And then as adults, you see things like this. How does that evolution
Well,
happen?
I'll tell you how it happens, and I feel we are failing this generation. I think how it happened when you and I were kids, where your parents said, not ordering another separate pizza with just cheese. Either eat what I'm having or don't eat. And this generation, it's, oh, you want a cheese, and can I give you a participation trophy with that?
In my generation, I didn't know there were toppings. We were broke. I thought pizza just was cheese.
Well, I think that affects the toppings as
Wait,
well.
how broke were you?
Welfare broke.
So broke.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, well,
Food stamps broke. Power turned off broke.
really?
Well,
Water
I
turned
was
off broke,
power
yeah.
turned off, just not for monetary reasons.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said for administration. It's hard to stay on top.
No,
But anyway, continue what you're saying, and I want
You
to
know
hear your
what?
theories
It's
on
a
it.
really
When do you
good pizza.
transition to toppings? What age? Or is it an income level?
Might be.
Rich folks get everything on their pizza.
That's what I thought growing up.
You know, this is a good pizza.
It is.
Some pizzas aren't as good.
And honestly, for a person watching their carbs, extra benefit of the thin crust.
Do you know that there is I feel like this is the type of thing you will dispute, like there's no such thing as a bag of French fry or chicken wing. But there is a real debate amongst people in terms of there's a big spread in Emos in terms of the product that you receive. There are certain Emos that are known for being the best.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Is that something you can share with me so that I can try the best?
Well, this is the best,
Well,
I
this-
think.
yeah, where did this come
Well,
from?
this
'Cause
is the
this is
Hampton Emos,
outstanding.
which I believe is the original, and there are
is
several
that
of
the
them.
one that's like sort of in the middle of the street where
Yeah.
Oakland and Hampton meet?
That's
That's
right.
the original?
But everyone has their Emos preference. Like I have a friend who only liked the one, what was it? He liked a cheese pizza from the one, I think on Big Bend in Manchester. That's one, or at least and that changes. The Hampton one, I think, has always been one of the best. But a lot of people have their favorite Emos, and there is something to it. There is a variation.
This is the only fast food restaurant that I've ever heard that about.
A little variation.
Yeah, that I want to go to this one rather than that one.
There are ones that have big variation in quality of service. That
That's
you
not
get. I've
true.
noticed
There
that.
are McDonald's. You've said this.
Well,
If you go to a McDonald's like at Times Square in New York City versus 100 miles outside of Omaha,
the service,
gonna get-
yeah,
you're going to get a different product. And largely it's because, I think if you have an adult who is working at the Times Square McDonald's, I think that would be a very difficult job.
yeah.
And your satisfaction with the job is probably not high every day. And I think you're going to put out a product differently than a 16-year-old 100 miles outside of Omaha. This is their first
Maybe.
job. And they are, I just think
Let me
you're
ask
going to
you
get a
question.
different
Because
product.
you lived in New York for a while, and I'm originally
Yeah.
from there. So that person working in the Times Square McDonald's, where do they live, and how can they possibly afford to live anywhere near where they work? I mean, New York's a fortune, even if you're in the outer boroughs. Where are they living?
Oh, I
There
think it's like
are
any
neighborhoods, aren't there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, back then, I think there are still a lot of affordable places in Queens and Yonkers.
You got to get a lot of roommates. You can't go it alone.
Maybe
But you get to work at McDonald's.
Astoria. I think there are
Sure,
some.
hey, they're one of the biggest companies in the world.
There are
Yeah.
plenty of working class neighborhoods in Queens and kind of in the other boroughs, Staten Island, I'm sure there's affordable housing.
Jeez, can you imagine having to live in Staten Island, come over every day just to go to the most crowded intersection of the world at Times Square for the privilege of working in a McDonald's?
You could have stopped it. Can you imagine living on Staten Island?
Yeah. I mean, no knock or whatever. It just...
No, knock.
Listen, you know what? I respect...
I've been to Staten Island.
But you got to respect that person. I mean,
Who lives on Staten Island?
No, listen, if you're living on Staten Island and you're dragging your behind every day over to Manhattan, to Times Square, to go to the McDonald's for the privilege of serving people who do not appreciate you, I mean, that's pretty special. I got to respect that person.
We don't know that person exists.
Wait, I thought Staten Island is largely firemen and policemen.
No, there are a lot of people who live there.
Can't have a whole borough of just
No, I'm
policemen.
just saying. I heard that. That's what I had heard.
No,
what's his name? Pete Davidson.
Yeah, Pete Davidson.
Yeah,
I think
was from
Colin Jost is from there.
Yeah, well, Staten Island isn't
Is
that
Kevin
technically?
Smith from there? No.
I don't know. I thought
Who bought the ferry? Pete, Colin. There was somebody else involved in that.
I don't know. All I know is that there's a lot of hardworking people out there. Although I have to say this, I had an experience this past week. I want to talk to you guys about it and get your take.
Yeah?
Because you know me, I'm a very mild-mannered person.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Well, you see me in a way that other people don't get a chance to, but by the premise.
Let's get
Okay.
this story out.
I'll accept that as a given.
I had to
I'm
go,
gonna
to,
have to
I had to
lick
go
my-
to the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles License Bureau, whatever they call it out
And
here.
you had trouble there?
Yeah.
Which-
Well,
how?
here's the thing.
Which DMV?
In De Pere.
Oh,
And
I've been
Brody needed to get his license renewed.
Okay.
And, he's a kid. Granted, he's 21, but, he doesn't have his own house with his own address.
Okay.
Goes in there. He's got his passport, his license, his social security card, his birth certificate. The challenge is the two pieces that prove your residency. When you're a kid, none of the utilities come in your name. So we ran around like in preparation, went to his bank, and we're like, well, it says on the site that if you have bank data, a bank statement with your address on it, that would count. We had them print one up. We went to my insurance agent and added Brody to the policy by name, which cost me money, just so that they could print out a thing with him and his address. So we'd have it. We go to the DMV. The line is tremendous. They don't have any seats at the De Pere location. We're all standing there. And I can see that whenever they get busy, they just start refusing people for whatever little picayune reason they can.
Yeah.
And we get up there, and they don't want to accept his bank statement as a proof of residency. And I said, but I don't understand. That is his bank statement. They said, yeah, but it's not the one that they mail to you. I'm like, I understand that because we have paperless statements. Nobody gets them mailed to them anymore. We're all trying to do our part for the environment, but it doesn't have to be actually sent in the mail. It needs to be a document from the bank that establishes the mailing address.
So you
not
got
the
a
mail.
climate change denier at the DMV.
So what I felt was happening was a very typical black and white, stick to the thing. Well, here's the problem. I normally don't get belligerent in those circumstances because there's really not much point to it. I couldn't help myself. I became that which shows up on videos sometimes, and you either hate the person or you get behind them. They have a big sign there that says we have the right to refuse service for anybody acting belligerent. I asked for a manager. I got the manager. He
funny.
was a moron, and I let him know about it. I didn't feel good about it afterward.
You let him know about the incident or that
I let him know that he was a moron.
You made sure he was
yeah,
aware
because
of that.
here's what happens is
What exactly did you say?
I said I'm just trying to figure out.
Let's play this out.
Okay.
Sir,
I
I
was
understand you'd like to
very-
speak to a manager.
I was
My
very
name is
mean.
Dale.
And I said, Dale, listen, we're here. He's getting a real ID. He has all of his documents.
Okay.
One of his qualifying documents is a bank statement. This is his bank statement.
Okay.
We just came from Commerce. It is 50 pages long with detailed financial transactions and his mailing address. Are you suggesting that this document has been fabricated so that my 21-year-old son can get a real ID when he's got his passport here, his birth certificate, his social security card, but a 50-page falsified bank statement? Is that what you're suggesting here? And he's like, sir, yeah, exactly. You may as well play him like, I was the biggest moron of the morons, and so I get to be the supervisor of the morons. So I just snapped because
That's
I get
what
very
I'd
defensive.
like to hear the
When I
details
snapped,
of the snap.
The comment that got me tossed because I was
you were ejected
I was
from the
ejected.
DMV?
I was. What the comment was I'm like, okay, I'm just standing here trying to figure out who amongst you is the biggest moron. And
you
now,
actually used the M word.
I did. I don't even call it the M word because there's nothing wrong with it. But yes, I used them. I used it. They tossed me. Now, let me say this. There was a part of me that felt a lot of guilt and shame over my lack of self-control. And I felt like, should I go back? Should I apologize? But then there was a bigger part of me
Probably
that
call the
said,
police.
if you have a business where your solution to all of these really, really upset customers was, instead of looking at our own behavior, our own practices and protocols, rather than try to fix that so as to produce fewer belligerent people, our solution is we're going to go print up a sign that says we have the right to refuse service to belligerent people. How many belligerent people are they getting every day? I'm guessing a lot.
Yeah.
And I think they deserve every one of them.
Well, if you have to put up a sign like that, which I think it's safe to say none of us have ever seen anywhere else, meaning they're doing something to cause that belligerence.
Let me tell you, I just feel like the regular normal people are going to the DMV. Nobody wants to go. They're using their lunch hour or they're taking PTO. And all they want to do is pay their money. They're there to comply with the rules and hand their money over to the state.
Yeah.
The state should bend over backwards and be gracious to try to collect that money. And then they wonder why we have so many people out there with expired plates. These people don't want to go to the DMV. The DMV is ruining their life. I believe I could run for governor, and my whole platform will be, if you elect me, you will never have to step into a license bureau again. We are going to take all of that administration out of it. We will let you submit things via online or use our other resources. They know the address. They have records of property.
They have
taxes,
all the records you're going to bring them. They have access.
They already have them.
Yeah.
How many times have you shown the DMV your passport? You have not changed. You're the same person. Why on earth would you have to continue to go on and on? Why shouldn't it be enough? Here's my old license. None of my information has changed. And then they give you a new one. That would make sense.
Well, I think they have to make these big blanket rules to prevent fraud and people from doing things wrong.
And have they prevented any fraud? Because last I checked, all we have is fraud.
Let me tell you this. I've experienced the same thing at the DMV. And I took the opposite approach and really turned it on, which I can do.
Wait, turned on what?
The charm.
Oh, the
you
charm.
know. And I've never walked out with what I needed. And you just no, I'm joking.
It's good to know nothing works.
I'm joking. It works every time. I have had it work every time because I think and the point I'm making is I do think they have the discretion to do that.
I think they definitely do have the discretion.
I think
that's why I was upset.
And I think that if you don't get belligerent, so they kick you out, I think you can outlast them because the line grows and because I feel like that's what happens is they're starting to feel pressure from the rest of the people in line because you're taking so long. And I don't know if they have quotas for how many people they need to serve a day, but the longer you stay there and you're kind and you don't walk away, you just keep at it. Eventually, I think they just say, okay, here it is.
You catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Like I had a great interaction with the License Bureau in Creve Coeur. I found
do tell.
The woman that renewed my license, we had a charming exchange. I went next door. She expressed she was thirsty. She didn't run out of her soda. I said, I'll go get you. There's a convenience store next door. I'll go get. What do you want? I got her a Dr. Pepper, and in exchange,
she could be on your references when you try to go back to this.
That's it. Well, she should. Just goes to show you, if you show up differently, you can get a totally different experience. So I bought her a Dr. Pepper. And she let me pose for my driver's license with my head tilted to the side and a big smile.
Oh my God.
That's my
good side.
It's my good side.
Yeah, let me ask you this. How long do you think you're banned for?
Oh, I don't know that I'm banned. I was ejected.
Okay,
I would imagine
what
that
did
if I returned on another day.
What did they say? What did they say?
Sir, we're going to need you to leave right now.
Oh, okay. And
did they threaten to call the police?
Did they point to the sign?
No, they didn't point
I
to
would
the
guess
sign.
if you'd have come back, they would have called the police.
And they would have potentially had the right to. I mean, I was
if you were ejected,
I can't say that they were wrong to eject me.
What did the crowd, what did the other people there? How did they react?
You know what? I like to believe in my heart they were with me.
Right.
But in practice, they just kept their heads
You know what it is?
down.
It's the great fallacy of It's a Wonderful Life.
The idea that everyone's going to rally
at the
around
end
you.
when all
Yeah.
the neighbors and they take their money out of their sock and they put it in, like the world's going to come because you're a decent person and you're being persecuted and wronged, that the world is going to stand up and come to your aid.
In reality, it's more
No.
like
They wouldn't have even fished me out of the water.
No.
it's like the soup Nazi episode of Seinfeld, where everyone else like kind of agrees with you, but they want their soup.
Exactly. That's what it felt like. It felt like the Soup Nazi episode of Seinfeld.
If
And
the
I'm not
world-
going to play by their
If we
rules.
could just change this one thing, just think what a better world it would
So
be.
does Brody
Well,
have his
wait a
driver's
second.
license?
Let me say this. No, he doesn't yet. We're going to go tomorrow. But
Where
extrapolate that
where
because
are you going?
we're going to a different location.
That's a good idea.
but-
and he's going to have a few drinks
But
first.
extrapolate this because here's
They
the
have
thing.
to-
Calm him down, or in
They
case he
have
needs
to
to
wear
I
fight.
think we could all
disguises.
agree. We could all agree that a lot of people have a distrust for government, and a lot of people have it in their head that if something is run by the government, it's not run as well as something that's run by private industry. And I think what contributes to that is that for years, and from what I understand, that it's technically not a government entity anymore, but for years it was. And people's interaction with the government was really their interaction with motor vehicles. And since it was so terrible and so bureaucratic, the belief became that's all of government.
Yeah,
And it's probably partially true. You know what's interesting, at least in Missouri, and it's not like this anymore, but for many years, the DMVs in Missouri were like politically doled out. So whoever the next governor was
Yeah, it's a great business.
said, hey, my friend Ed, you just got a DMV and they're cash cows. And so you made a fortune. But then what happens? The next governor comes in and says, oh, sorry, Ed, you don't have a DMV anymore. I'm going to give it to my friend Andy. And he
Really?
can make a fortune for 4
and,
years.
Yeah, to make a fortune. Every night at 2 a.m., we open up the driver's license section and we just make fake licenses all night long, charge $1,000 a piece, and we walk away wealthy
I
men.
would bet the
Did
you
you
know,
ever,
when we've
did you
talked
ever
about
hear
this.
about any crime or anything committed with somebody who has a fake or who's lied to get a driver's license?
September 11th?
Well, I don't know. I don't think that was what they.
Yeah,
they,
You need
I
a driver's license to.
I
I
why
don't
would they
think
have
you
needed
do.
a driver's
No,
license?
that had nothing to do with
first of all,
driver's license.
Have I heard of it? No.
What I'm saying
But if
is,
you're-
what are they
if you're-
so worried about?
Wait,
That will-
because people absolutely use false identification to commit crimes all the time.
No, I know, but you think, well, what? Who are they showing their driver? So what?
Well-
They go in a store and they say, "Here's a gun. Let me
No.
have your money, and by the way, here's my license."
No, I think it probably comes more in the way often of financial
All
crimes.
I'm saying is, I don't think this is a big problem that they need to address with the vigor
I
that
agree.
they.
Listen,
No,
every day
no.
we're getting scammed. There are new scams popping up every single day. How many emails are you getting a day that look like they're from a company that says, "Oh, we
Yeah.
have a package we've been trying to deliver."
Oh yeah, I
We-
get those all the time.
Every
And you
one of
can't-
them's a
And when you
scam.
go to the mailbox, the post office, they never
You know
have
why
your
that is?
package.
Because
Right.
all of them are scams.
They're all scams. That's my point. Is that the DMV is going to do nothing to minimize scams?
No, the DM. Well, I disagree. First of all, I think there are a lot of crimes that happen with fake IDs. I think you don't want people just getting. I mean, think about it would lose all ability for the TSA or the airports to do any screening if it was easy to get a fake ID, because you'd have people who have criminal records and pasts of committing crimes like terrorist acts on airplanes, and they would just be able to freely get on.
Seems like overkill, man. I don't think it's doing much to protect that. I think people that are the kind of terrorists
And do
that are
you think the
well-funded can
people
get a
at
fake
the-
ID pretty
Do
easily.
you think the people at the screening even look at your? I mean, they look at the picture, but that's all they look at.
No, but they scan it in and a computer looks at it. Yes, I
Let me
believe.
tell you what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
If there was going to be a data breach somewhere,
Yeah.
wouldn't you think that breaching the data of the DMV is the most dangerous? I mean, when they scan these documents, it's got your credit card account numbers on them. It's got your social security number on them, your passport information in there, your birth certificate information. And like, they have truly the most sensitive data.
Yeah.
And every one of them, I don't want to be cruel or whatever, but none of them look like they can coordinate an outfit. And they're holding on all of
Well,
our
and the
data.
computers
Just a
look like they're
second.
from the 80s. Did you try the
I
red
think they
hot
had-
riplet
yeah,
wings? by the
Commodore
way?
They're hot,
64
but
in
I
there.
have a request. I would just like to make it clear, if there's anybody from the DMV looking at this, I have never had any trouble with you people.
Nor have I.
I think you people are the best,
Can't say you people.
nicest, most decent people. He's the one, not us.
Yeah, I think
mean,
that's important. I've
Yeah, I
never
don't
had
want- I don't
anything
wanna be
but good
painted with
experiences
Cowards.
at the
They're
DMV.
no better than the people online that
No,
look down.
you know what? Honestly,
Two Nazis.
you know what I think the difference is, genuinely? I think that what I have experienced, and you too, in St. Louis,
the band or me?
what?
You said you too.
Oh, you.
Oh, me.
You also. I think
Ooh, that's spicy.
oftentimes
That's spicy.
when the last name Crouppen is seen on the documents, I think that we are treated better
we are.
better than
We are. We are.
a Herman.
Yeah, and which is, by the way, is the opposite. as to how
Especially
things
after
should
what
be.
you've done to your name now
Well.
within DMV circles.
Oh, and also,
but no,
I'm
I agree. I've never had anything but pleasant experiences at the DMV. It's not that I enjoy going there because they're big crowds. You got to wait in line, but I always leave with what I
Aren't
need.
you always slightly surprised when you accomplish what you set out to do at the DMV?
Yes, because I'm
always
not-
a little like I
Right.
go in, and
And
if it
nobody
actually gets
goes
done,
there.
I walk out saying, "Holy cow!
Nobody-
I actually have my a
Because I'm
license."
surprised
Nobody
with
goes
my
there
own.
with any confidence.
No confidence.
Because I'm
Because
surprised.
there's so many ways you can slip
Yes,
up.
because I'm surprised I.
Oh,
Anyway,
and also, I want to apologize to the people at Clementine's. I was in there recently, had a big bowl of what the ice cream flavor, angst. And it was just really terrific.
A big bowl of angst.
Yeah.
Here's a tip.
we go to-
chocolate.
That's funny.
It is.
I
like
Angst,
wish.
you know, because they have those names, you can't get regular flavors.
Don't you want to see what they do with a
What are we
strawberry or a vanilla
They,
or a chocolate?
They, when you ask them, they look at you like, where
Well,
are
'cause
you
they don't
from?
have it.
Yeah,
Wait,
we've never heard of that.
strawberry? What is
You know what
this?
drives me nuts?
And so I
It-
brought a picture of a strawberry. Yeah.
So you make
So
an ice cream
hard.
out
You
of
can
this.
actually.
so hard to come by soft serve. Like, tell me where I can get a chocolate, vanilla, soft serve
Ted
twist.
Drew's.
Nope. That's
What do you mean?
custard. And they don't have a twist.
And wait,
what about Dairy Queen? Is that not
hold
No,
on.
soft serve?
vanilla only.
What?
Wait a
that's true.
second.
Lion's
Yeah.
choice.
What's the difference between custard and soft serve?
Viscosity.
Well, one's ice cream and one's custard.
Yeah.
It's a different recipe.
But you don't think they taste virtually the same?
They're similar,
They're very close to
but
each
you're
other.
Yeah,
also
they're-
not going to get a twist chocolate and vanilla twist cone at Ted Drew's.
You might not, but they have like 95
You know,
other.
Right, but
you know
that's-
what I wish?
No,
I would like.
that's what I'm
they
looking
made-
Does the
for.
Baskin Robbins in Frontenac offer any soft serve?
No.
I don't think so.
That's a shame.
You know, I was looking at the totally switching gears. I can't remember why
I
I
like
was
soft
looking
serve.
this up.
I like it.
You want to stay on soft serve for a
No,
minute?
I'm just,
I love soft
you
serve.
put it in my head now out of
Yeah.
nowhere, and that was so spicy. The
It's hard
Ripplot
to
thing,
find.
and
But wait,
The
it would
closest
be
you can
so
find-
cooling on my.
But did
on
you
my
ever
tongue.
make a big difference between custard and ice cream?
Yeah.
Really?
Listen, if you've got
No.
the palate to distinguish it,
I
they
guess.
are different, but they're clearly similar.
Yeah, for sure.
Is custard thicker?
I think it's thicker.
It's an
a little
egg-based
different
Is
flavor.
the other
Yeah.
one?
yeah.
Is the other one smoother? Maybe.
I would imagine the
Ice
custard
cream?
is smoother.
I don't
If
know.
you're out there watching and you got chocolate and vanilla twist
You know who?
soft serve in the central
I
corridor,
believe credited with inventing soft serve, Tom
boy.
Carvel
really
out of New York. And
interesting.
simultaneously, Dairy Queen came up with their own version of it, but the two versions are different. One of them is a soft serve, and one of them is a custard.
Now the froyo places, especially and I think the only ones left, and
Are a couple
man,
of
we are
Froyos.
heading back in.
I know.
We're close to that froyo cycle coming back around. So there's a chain froyo locally. There are only a few of them left now. The one on Delmar in the Loop. Had you been there
Not
shortly
recently.
before they closed?
No,
It was one of the most shocking restaurants I have ever walked into in
Shocking,
my
good
life.
or bad?
So the last
one
time
of
we
the
went there
toppings was roaches.
was shortly before they closed.
Yeah.
They literally had maybe one machine that worked.
Oh.
you have never in your life seen a filthier restaurant.
Well, let me ask you a
And
question.
it was
That's a shame.
remarkable. I mean, you could see how they closed. I mean, there's no way they made any money. They didn't even have any yogurt to sell.
What
That's
do
going to
you,
make it very difficult to stay
Very
in business as a yogurt
what
place.
would you, if you had to briefly state, why does frozen yogurt come around every
in
10,
cycles?
20 years, and then it disappears? And ice cream, when
Comes
it
back,
leaves
yes.
ice cream, what do you think?
You
I have
know,
a very,
I think people, when it comes back around, it's a fad. It's slightly new, maybe new flavors, maybe kind of an eye-catching aesthetic in the store in a neighborhood, and people like it. And it probably is driven a lot by kids who want to go after baseball games, and it's a nice family
I
thing,
think
whatever it is.
I think
But
it's
then
all
people
about
get sick of it.
I think it's all about perceived health. And people think it's healthier than ice cream, better for
Maybe.
you.
And they forget
do
about
it.
it.
And then after a while, they somehow sanity prevails. And first of all,
We collectively gained 20 pounds, and we're like, oh, this
whatever it
froyo,
is.
I gotta stop.
I guess there are people who like
I mean, to me,
Frozen
I like
yogurt.
it all. I think it's.
going to
I think,
frozen
I think
yogurt.
it's all
see, I
delightful.
think there's
but
no
I do think there's a
comparison.
perceived health benefit to yogurt
Yeah.
over ice cream, and I
and
think
then people finally want
things
some
trend.
flavor. Yeah.
they trend one way, and then we go through trends of indulgence,
Yeah.
where the movement of take care of yourself, let yourself enjoy. You only go around once.
I
And
wonder how the fad of donuts.
Donuts
if it-
never go anywhere.
No, but they do. They
get
wax.
hot.
I mean, how many? What
we
was
went
the
through
big
a donut
donut
revolution.
What's
the
the
last
big
few years.
donut?
We did, but I don't know that they've ever. I feel like donuts have only ever gone up.
Wait, what's the?
It's not like
With
the
its
frozen
Krispy Kreme.
yogurt.
Where-
yeah,
Dunkin'
look
Donuts.
at seriously, where you go find me a Krispy Kreme donut.
I don't know that they- but it's
used
not
to.
like
They
they were-
used to be all over.
No, not in St. Louis.
Yeah, they were.
We
There
had
were a
the one
lot of.
location off of 44 by Bulls.
There's still one out west.
Yeah, I think that's.
And
I
when
think it's
frozen
still
yogurt,
there.
I was just there. And let me say
I don't know
this
if
about
that's Fenton.
Froyo. I will tell you, your Delmar chain was an embarrassment, not just to yourself, to your bloodline, and to the city you are representing. However, that Webster location's okay. I just went there a week or so ago, and I love that you get a variety of flavors. It's great.
But
you know what I like?
How did they stay in business? Which they didn't.
Oh,
but
by
I don't know.
charging
But-
$20 for a cup
but-
of
but
of
it's
cheap.
froyo
But
because the
in the
kids load
loop-
their own toppings
But
on.
in the loop, you'd think there'd be a lot of like police through there.
How could they
people
not?
that would,
You would think it's a gold
turn
mine.
them in. But I'm saying, if it was that filthy,
Yeah.
you would think
I think it
people would have
probably
called.
got filthy once they knew they were going down the tubes and it was a spiral. Because
Oh.
if there was one machine
I
working,
know one other
clearly
place.
they didn't bother
There was.
fixing
I know
them.
one other place that followed a similar.
What? No. Okay.
What,
Do you
that
know
just
this?
started
I
going
went
off
to.
the-
I don't know. I don't remember why I looked this up yesterday, and I don't know why I find it this amazing. When you were born,
Me.
yes,
This is November 1945.
1945.
there were only 48 states in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Do you
true.
remember them? You might have been very young, but what was that like when they added states?
It was what 19. It was like
I think the last one was
1959.
like,
It was Alaska and
It was
Hawaii.
Hawaii and Alaska.
were added. I think
I
both
don't-
in
I
1959
don't
within
remember
6
it.
months of each other.
I remember we would
Well,
spend.
they like to keep it in even numbers.
We would spend days and days sewing stars
That's
on
right.
flags that we had.
Well, it's
out
just,
there.
for people that grew up with there only being 50, it seems like one of those things that's so in stone
Forever.
that the idea of adding a couple or subtracting, like, we just think that would
Yeah.
be a shocking thing. But for people of your age, you lived through it. Was it shocking? Did
No,
people make a big deal about it?
I don't
Well,
recall.
maybe because they weren't continental, and you have to go back to like probably before the Depression.
I remember when
for
the Pledge of
the
Allegiance
state,
got
the
changed.
previous, the 48th state was added.
The Pledge of Allegiance got changed?
Yeah, it used to be one nation, indivisible. They added under God.
They added under God?
One
Yeah,
nation,
that was-
under God.
I always did
individual,
under God.
Yeah, of course.
When did
No,
they add under
really?
God?
Yes, guys don't remember that.
No, because we didn't
One
have it.
nation,
We learned it under God.
indivisible.
No.
with liberty and justice for all. They
Which is
added
not what we
under
were taught.
God.
Well, it must have been before we went to kindergarten.
Yeah.
But after you,
That's a really creepy thing.
that they indoctrinate you with this like Pledge of Allegiance
It's
at,
and
at,
it
at
just
an age when you're not old enough to even appreciate
just
what
then
you're
they-
elected
then
the
they
to.
fact that
added-
it's called a pledge of allegiance. It is. I don't feel like they've done anything at that point to earn my
Well,
allegiance.
when did it start?
Not at that age.
The pledge?
Was it after World War II or during World War II or before?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because when I was a kid,
we didn't go to kindergarten until 1976.
we did the Pledge of Allegiance every day.
So did we?
And I went to school for a year in North Miami, and we did the Lord's Prayer every day.
Huh. You know,
I never was asked to do the Lord's
they
Prayer.
still
No,
do
we better do it.
the Pledge of Allegiance at my kid's school every day,
Yeah.
every morning at kindergarten. So I think that's still.
I know it still is.
I don't know if that's. I wonder if that's a legal requirement. Like, is that mandated by the state board of education?
I don't know, but I do remember that it was a big deal when Brody was a kid. If you were the one that got to lead the class in the Pledge of Allegiance, was kind of still an honor.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Hey, does
so-
anybody know how to play bocce ball? A friend of mine's having a bocce tournament this afternoon, which is why we had to do this a little earlier.
When you say know how to play, do you mean know the rules or have acumen at the game?
Call Tina.
Well, I'd like both. I
call
don't
Joey
have,
or call Tina.
Honestly, I don't have that much time. I got to go straight
Call-
there from
call
here.
Joey.
You're not
He-
listening to me. I don't have time. I'm going straight
I'll
there
get him on
from
the phone.
here.
We'll put him on live. He can
Well,
tell.
I think if any of you know, it'd just be easier
First,
if you know
first
the basic
they throw
rules.
out the little ball. It's like a Polino or something like
Yeah.
that. That gets tossed out there, and then you alternate
Then it
in
becomes
tossing
like
your
horseshoes.
balls. And you want to be the closest to that original ball.
Okay.
If you're the closest to it, you earn a point. Now, if two of your balls wind up closer than even the closer ball of the other guy,
Yeah.
you wind up getting an extra point. You get 2 points. But as you throw them, you alternate. So you're trying to knock their thing
Yeah.
out of contention.
So it's
you know,
kind of
knock it out.
shuffleboard-esque.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
shuffleboard-esque,
Shuffleboard
yes. I would
adjacent.
almost say that it's the same, except you're tossing the ball, and the target keeps changing because every time you start a new round, you toss it. It starts with
Right.
a P. I'm saying Polina, but I don't know what it's called. And so that's
Pelota?
the difference of
It's probably
it's not pelota because that's a baseball. But
but pelota is just ball in Spanish.
Could be.
I'll
Could
bet
be.
it. Is it a
Yeah.
French game or an
It's
Italian
French.
game?
It's an Italian game.
Yeah.
So I bet it's however you say ball in Italian.
look it up. It's like
When
just
I-
look up the rules of
when I
bocce.
was
I think
a-
it's like a Polina something.
I
like
was
that.
at Club Med
Yeah.
on at Freeport in
I
the
wonder.
Bahamas.
I remember when you went back then. I don't know if it's still this way. Wasn't there something where there was no? They changed the currency to beads. So like
You-
you
you
would
did have beads. You
exchange
had
your
to buy
dollars
beads, yes.
for beads, and you paid for a thing in
You
beads,
did.
right?
Yes, and let me tell you, I remember walking into the lunch buffet there.
Yeah.
It was the most remarkable buffet
This was a
I'd
clothing
ever
optional resort.
seen. Not for me.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean,
just trying to picture
it was
this
clothing
lunch.
mandatory for Tara.
going back to, they had a contest of pétanque.
Okay.
Pétanque
Isn't it a
is
very
the
similar
French
game?
version of bocce.
Yeah.
And I won the
Bocce.
gold medal.
Wow.
Me and my partner. Yes.
Was your partner a professional?
No, I didn't even
He
remember.
brought
It
a
wasn't-
ringer.
Hey,
That's right.
listen, that's
no, he
good
was a very
strategy.
nice guy, and we won. And I wore the gold medal all the time. And Sam, your younger
You win
brother,
a gold medal. You wear. it.
used to in school when they had drawings of your family. Sam always drew me with my gold medal.
That's
Wow.
nice.
Yeah.
He was very proud of you.
Yeah, I
Sam,
I
Sam
didn't give.
speaks very well of you.
I didn't give him much to be, but he
right.
took whatever I gave him and he went with it.
He speaks very well of you, much better than Andy does.
You should see.
That's not
Well,
true. No,
where are
it's
you
not
going to?
true.
Where is this game going to be?
I mean, it's true, but
I
it's
don't.
not true.
Well, I guess I can disclose it since this won't air before then. I don't need a
Yeah.
bunch of
I'm guessing Milo's.
spectators. No, it is in a neighborhood in Clayton. There's like a big park kind of in the island median. Yeah.
Well, Milo's is, and there's a bocce club in the middle of the hill.
Yeah. And it's been there
The
forever.
Italian American, yeah, and you have to join. And
I was in the bookstore the other
It's
day, Barnes
actually
and
a
Noble.
fun
It's
game.
a good game, and I was reading. There's a book on the history of the hill, and it's filled with photographs
Don't
of
we
all
have
of
that
the.
here?
Not this particular one. We
Okay.
have the one that's like a road guide, like all
Okay.
the places that are on
You know what,
there.
I'm
This
gonna
one
start
was more the
Cleaning up
collective
some
history.
of this. Are you guys all done? I'm going to just start
done
putting
with
this
the
to
food.
the side.
Delicious, of course. You all know Emos.
Thanks for getting that, Jen.
If you haven't had it in a while, treat yourself. It's really worth it.
delish.
The Red Hot Liver was delicious,
Well,
but very spicy.
I liked them a
They
lot,
were red
but
hot.
I
They
like a little bit wetter of a wing.
Really, I like a dry rub,
And
Yeah.
and you don't.
Only if
whether
there's.
it's a wing or.
I like a dry rub, but I think it needs to be a smoked
Oh, Jen,
wing.
you were laughing at that way too fast.
Did neither of you guys have the belief that a chicken strip is far better than a chicken wing?
That's
Yes,
nuts.
of course. A chicken strip is always better than a chicken wing.
What?
Chicken strip is boneless and it's crunchy.
and you get an honest chew with a chicken strip.
Yeah, but the flavor, you can't get the flavor
No,
when
I
you don't
see
have
it.
that
Flavor from the
bone.
sauce.
Yeah, you've got the sauce covering it.
Stop,
You got the sauce.
Stop,
Oh, you know what?
Stop.
Speaking of sauce.
Take that to Buffalo.
Brody,
you went to school, my God.
Listen.
You went to college in Buffalo
I know.
and you're saying
Listen,
this?
if
They're
we
going
were
to
in-
revoke your diploma.
We were in Buffalo. I would send you to Duff's, and you'd have the best wing you've ever had in your life. But the other day, Brody and I had lunch, and we went to Sugar Fire, the barbecue place up on Olivet, which, by the way, we should probably bring
Yeah.
some of their stuff
And
in.
we gotta get back to your
It had
Hill
been
book.
a while.
That's Sugar
It had been a
Fire,
while.
your hometown barbecue.
Yeah, it's great.
Maybe we'll
I
send us
actually
some.
believe, as I sat there, because I got their smoked turkey, which, Terry, you would have loved. I
No, I
sampled
like
all
smoked.
6 of their sauces.
Yeah.
Their coffee barbecue sauce is special. I've never had anything
there
like it
caffeine in
anywhere
it?
else. I don't know.
There probably is.
Probably. I was
I
bouncing
really-
off the walls the rest of the day, but it was worth it. It was really good. And it occurred to me that there really is no national barbecue chain. And now Sugar Fire's in 5 different states. I think they have the kind of menu and the kind of I think they could be our national
I
barbecue
think it's
chain.
really
Uh-oh.
hard.
I see conversation with shades of the Dukes of Hazzard guy coming up when Ed starts giving them advice
with Wolfpack,
about.
yeah.
I think I've got to. Who do I send this
I got a
plan
business
to?
plan. No, yeah, we'll tell that whole story one day.
Yeah, one day you remind us
when we have time. I'll
what
tell
was
you
the guy's name?
Tom Wopat.
Tom Wopat
I
from
think
the
it's
Dukes
really
of
hard
Hazzard.
when you try to have those things on a grand scale to keep the quality, especially with something that takes as much
of
technique
course.
as barbecue does.
Of course, and I would say go slow, continue to expand. But I mean, you're already in 5 states.
Yeah.
So how much?
Well,
you know,
are you,
once
though?
you're recreating that, well, they are now. I mean,
No,
they're
but
in
what I mean
Colorado
is,
and Indiana, Illinois.
If you go to those locations where the owners don't live, are you going to get the quality of barbecue that you're getting?
Okay,
here?
I say we take this show on the road
Let's
and
go.
we answer that very question. Now,
Let's
you were
go.
saying you want them to finish up. Say, oh, I was reading the history of the hill.
Yeah.
This is a good book. It's worth reading. And what I learned in there too, like St. Ambrose, you know, the church really
Yeah.
ties the whole community together.
Yes.
The original St. Ambrose burned down at some point, and,
Really?
and they rebuilt, and was
Arson?
rebuilt. I don't know, but this
No,
one
not
was.
arson.
What do I?
This one was sort of officially dedicated in June of 1926.
Wow.
Which means that when we have coffee with the father over there,
Father Jack.
I wonder if they're preparing a big 100th anniversary for the
That
new
was-
St. Ambrose.
They have to.
hold
You know
that
what? If
thought.
they're not, I think we should volunteer to throw something for them
Yeah.
as
Okay.
the newest entries to the neighborhood.
I can't believe do they serve chicken tenders at that place you mentioned in Buffalo? I can't believe you of all people
No.
would say that a chicken tender is better than a chicken wing. They're different.
It's a better
a chicken
chew.
tender is good.
It's a better chew.
That's right, but it's
Listen,
but it's not
But you're
overall
comparing
better.
two delicious things.
If you
It's
had
like
to
a
wipe-
1 and a 1A. But if I had to pick, do I want to spend the rest of my life in a world having to suck meat off of bones, or do I want the work done for me and it nicely breaded and I can dip it?
It's not just-
if that's the
it's
only
not
choice I
just the
have, I'm
bones.
taking
So
the chicken tender.
you have a switch, 2 switches, and you can either push one and eliminate chicken wings
Yeah.
from this
Yes.
universe,
Yes.
or chicken tenders.
Yes.
You're getting rid
Get
of
rid-
chicken wings.
I have to.
grab it. There's
I
one
have
over
to.
there.
And you know what? If for
Right.
no other reason than for the kids.
Do me a favor. Grab
The kids love the chicken
Jennifer,
fingers.
give him a chicken wing, and I want you to
I
take
just
bite.
ate one.
I want to see, but I want you to tell me how many bites are
It's not- it's not, Jen,
sinew.
you don't have to do
you know
that.
that.
I won't
You know
eat it.
that hard stuff to chew
Yeah.
through.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'll
little
bet you
cartilage.
half the bites are
No.
filled with that kind of
No,
stuff.
not if you
Where
get
a
a-
chicken gives you a nugget, gives you a true
It's an
chew.
honest piece of chicken.
If you eat a chicken wing, first of all, you know exactly every time where the bad part of the wing is. The problem is, I think you get greedy, and I think we all know that it's not pleasant to watch you eat a chicken wing because
that I have to give him that. All right, point well made.
Well,
Go on.
and if you would
I'm
eat the part of the
for the
wing,
sake of continuity, I won't defend myself.
and there's no reason to, because you've got the bigger argument.
you've got the reputation. If you just eat the
no,
part of the wing,
And once again, I won't interrupt, but for continuity, I'll
interrupting,
let
though.
it keep going.
if you eat the part of the wing that is designed to be eaten, you don't get that stuff. and they're delicious. They're more flavorful.
Yeah, but can I suggest this to you? You would
Yeah.
admit that from a consistency standpoint, you can get a chicken tender almost anywhere, and there are variations, but they're all edible and good. But you've had many a chicken wing that was fatty, greasy,
That flabby, fatty. They're not
and
good.
inedible.
Sure.
So as a percentage, a chicken finger is almost 100% food.
That's right.
And a chicken wing is probably like a 70%, if I'm being generous.
Maybe,
About 30% of them are
Well,
offensive.
go
in some way.
ahead. We'll give you
But
some.
here's the thing.
Doesn't that end the debate, though?
It doesn't at all, because I think that the ceiling for a chicken tender is very low. You know, I don't
It's-
think they're as
it's how it's
flavorful.
cooked.
I don't think they're as good. And I think the reason why it's so much harder to get a good wing is because it is a bit more complex. I think there's a different flavor to them, a different texture to them.
I
They're
see.
harder to make.
and you know what
And
it
the
could
good
be?
ones are way better than
And
the
the-
average chicken tender.
Has a very discriminating palate.
No, we're talking about
No,
chicken
no,
wings.
no.
No, but
preference.
that's in everything.
No, but
No, I don't believe
get
I
the
taste
He
bone.
likes what he
nearly-
likes. He's allowed
The
to.
bone gives
We like what we like.
flavor.
After
The
Trump's
bone,
elected.
listen, the bone does give flavor.
Of
There's no
course it
question. But
does.
you know what? So does the breading that you get on a chicken finger,
and
then
the
the
sauce.
dip.
Yeah,
You dip
come
it
on.
in buffalo
Yeah.
sauce.
You
You dip
dip
it in
it in
garlic
hot
parmesan.
I will
sauce.
say this: I also prefer a smoked wing often to a fried wing.
Yeah, I could see that because the meat tends to fall right off
Oh,
of the
it's
smoked
delicious.
wing. Yeah, you get a nice, something like that. Then it's like a good rib.
And it's not to say that I don't like wings. I like wings.
No,
Yeah,
we've
I
all
love
seen
wings.
you.
I'm
eat
just
Oh,
saying,
yeah, of
if
course.
them. No,
given
you
the
eat them like you like
choice.
them.
Yeah.
You'll. This is something I wanted to ask you about.
Okay.
I have noticed that in my lifetime, and there are very few things like this, and I don't understand why. Cereal packaging has not changed. Nothing. No evolution. And I think it would be so easy to put something in there to make it self-sealing, like almost every other item like that. Like, chip bags aren't often, but like a lot of granolas, things have those sort of Ziploc tops. Toilet paper, no change in our whole lifetime. Don't you think we're ready? Like at some point, somebody's going to say, wait a minute, what if we did this? And toilet paper will be unrecognizable compared to what it is today. Or do you think it'll just
It's
always be
always
this?
got to be. You got to.
You don't think there's any revolution?
No, here's my.
But the cereal,
I don't think that
it's
there's
ridiculous.
an evolution or coming up or a revolution when it comes to toilet paper. But let me ask you this: we all know when it comes to toilet paper that a single ply is of no use, and we also know that most people, even
use.
with the double or triple ply, it's not like they're taking one square. They're still going to take a batch of it.
Women.
Why not just make the paper thicker to begin with?
Because it's cheaper this way.
It's probably cheaper to
Haven't you ever
manufacture.
gone to a nice hotel or a nice place and you use the bathroom and it's paper thin? To me, that's a very big negative whenever
Huge
I go
negative.
someplace.
Yeah. It's like that is not the place to cut
I have
costs.
one. I use Charmin Soft, and it's,
You know what? Let me give you two words.
Yeah.
Quilted Northern.
It's the good stuff.
Then you have that.
That's wonderful.
But do you have a Toto?
Oh, sure. Yeah, the little washlets.
For
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a monster.
For people looking at this and don't know what I'm talking about, there is a product called a Toto from Japan.
Yeah, they call them washlets. That's the
Yes.
because Toto's
and
the brand.
you can either buy
Well,
the
they're bidets. They're
You can
Yeah.
well,
Well,
no,
a
well,
bidet is
it's
sort of a
a
everything.
separate.
bidet seat.
Yes, so it's a washlet.
But it
I
you
think
ha-
that's
with a
just the
bunch of
brand of Toto.
options to wash for women. You can wash your front and your back.
Well,
For-
men have a
Your
front,
front
too.
butt and your back butt.
no,
Your
no,
front has-
no.
you could wash your
No, they-
balls. Are we allowed to say that?
We've never. I don't know.
Okay.
We're gonna get
I'm just saying,
demonetized.
but you can since we
And
are.
yeah,
on the subject,
but
you
there,
can wash
and
your
it's
balls.
warm water. The seat's heated, and you don't have to. The secret is you don't have to buy a whole Toto toilet, which is very
Right, it's
expensive.
just
You can just buy
the
the
lid.
seat and the apparatus,
And it will save you
it'll
money.
change
It
your
pays for
life.
itself.
Change your life.
It does pay for itself because you don't use nearly
Maybe. I don't know.
nearly the paper.
My wife and kids do.
Well,
That's a big argument in
they're-
our
they're
house.
kind
of
How many
wasteful.
squares are
women
appropriate?
Women are crazy about every woman I know. If you see them right before they go in to do their business,
Oh God.
they have wrapped their hand in what appears to be a boxing glove.
Yeah.
And we go through
a lot of toilet
a
paper.
lot of toilet. Once when I was home alone, or I was at some diet thing.
We
I was
want to know
gone
when
for
the
a
podcast
month.
failed.
And
point to this
I had
moment.
one roll of toilet paper lasted me a month
Yeah.
because I try to use 3 squares.
Yeah, 3 squares.
3 squares a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why is that?
That seems very light.
It is.
I
but
feel like you'd be
that
more thorough than
And then
that.
I fold it over and then again,
Yeah.
and that's what I do.
Well, look at his fingernails. No,
I mean, listen, that's incredibly disciplined. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
to
but I
not be
also
wasteful,
think-
But,
To be
I
fair,
don't waste. Yeah.
you're using the washlet.
the mechanism of urination for men and women is much different, and I think legitimately requires more toilet paper. I will yield that.
Not in
Just
any.
that much
Does
more
it?
toilet
I mean,
paper.
No.
we're expected to simply shake it off. Can they not shake it off with just a little twitch?
I think
the
what
hips.
happens
I think you need music.
again.
we can pump music in. I'm
don't
just
have music
thinking
in
a
your
twitch
bathroom?
of the hips seems like it would get the job done.
I think the mechanism, back to the mechanism of urination.
yes,
I
that's
think
what
what
everybody
happens
wants to hear
is
about.
Ours is contained a little better. I think
Not mine.
women it gets
But it's
more
still, remember-
on their legs.
You're
I think
right,
it's
but there's
legs.
it's a messier process.
Is that right? I don't know anything about this. I have this weird thing where I don't like to know about
Well, he
any of
has
that
3
stuff as it
daughters.
relates
He
to
has
women.
3 daughters.
Yeah, I have 3 daughters. I've watched them all.
But
What are they
remember,
doing?
they're
I taught them
cleaning.
all how to pee.
They're cleaning up
God.
not a difficult to clean up substance. Urine is far easier. It's just
Pee
a
is easy.
liquid. Once
Oh
you
my
dry
God.
it off.
Pee is easy.
Speaking of
and it's
difficult to clean
ammonia.
up,
It's basically cleanser.
do you get served up ads for these oats overnight?
Overnight oats.
Yeah.
No.
It's overnight oats. You put them in a container with some milk the night before. They sit in the refrigerator and they soften. It's a little shaker. You put in the milk, put in the stuff, you shake it up. Last night, I forgot to close there's like, a lid you screw on and then a little cap that you drink out of. And I forgot to put that on. And I start shaking it, just one shake. And there was almost nothing missing from the jar. I could not believe how much milk and oats sprayed everywhere, all over myself, my refrigerator, my floor, and almost nothing was missing. It was the biggest
Oats,
mess
as far as the eye could see.
I can remember making in my life, maybe.
I would have liked to have
It was
seen that.
unbelievable.
I'll tell
I
you
have a
what,
picture of the
I'll tell you something.
of how bad the,
Yeah,
the
can we
crime
get
scene
that
was.
on?
I had
Yeah.
a terrible thing happen to me yesterday. I am holding 2 cases of
Eggs.
dog food to get out of the car.
Yeah.
In cans with no lid. They were, it was just how they display things in cases and they cut off the top.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I dropped them both on a street
And they
going
all
down,
rolled.
and they're all rolling all
Look
down
how
the
much-
street.
I mean, it's everywhere.
I mean, that's
and on
horrible.
top of being all over me.
Oh, it was terrible. I was so pissed.
Wait, what did you drop? Dog food?
Yeah, but they were cans.
They
and
were
all rolled
cans,
down
and
the
they
hill.
all rolled
down
down
the
there
street.
on a real steep hill. And so I'm running after them in the middle, and I'm
Oh
cursing.
my God!
everywhere.
Wait,
and I
what
was
is
covered.
What is this?
Oh,
This is
Overnight oats.
overnight
No, but
oats. It
what
looks
is
like a
is that a
crime
drink?
scene.
Well, so it depends. This one, if you can either
Jesus.
I've never heard of it.
use 8 ounces of milk and
It's
then
like a
you
snowman
drink
got
it
shot.
a little bit, or use 4 ounces of milk and you eat it out of a bowl.
But it's a food you eat for like
Yeah, it's a
breakfast.
It's
breakfast.
oatmeal,
yeah.
but it's cold.
Oh, wow.
It's not.
It's a
It's
cold
not.
oatmeal.
Yeah, I guess it's. Yeah.
A hot breakfast.
Actually, I don't know that it's oatmeal.
A hot breakfast is a,
meal
with
a
oats.
rare thing.
And it's a meal.
All right, it's
When's the
oatmeal.
last time you had a hot breakfast?
You mean I don't.
Not long
You
ago.
mean like pancakes, or you mean like
Anything
porridge?
hot, anything.
I mean, I'll make myself eggs on the weekend.
I
Sometimes
don't
a
do
nice
that. So
breakfast
once a week?
burrito.
I would say for me, I'm thinking 1 year ago, I made myself a combination of maple brown sugar oatmeal and maple brown sugar cream of wheat. That's my little trick, is I combine them.
Oh, I'll
I
have.
get a nice, it's like a warm concrete, goes
Really?
right to the belly. Oh, it leaves you feeling full till
You ever
lunchtime.
make yourself a breakfast burrito?
No, not because
No.
I don't eat eggs. You know me, I don't eat
Yeah,
eggs. I don't like
yeah,
cheese either,
yeah.
to be honest with you. I mean, I eat cheese, but I don't like it.
Why do you think? Do you know why pirates wear eye patches? I saw this somewhere, and I thought of you immediately because
Is
I
this
don't-
an actual thing, or is
It
this
is.
a joke?
No. This is
Why
this
they
is
wear
actual.
eyebrows?
Yeah,
I don't know.
and it makes perfect
guess
sense.
They have some eye problems.
Yeah, I'm going to go with eye problems for 100.
And
sort of.
astigmatism.
but not the problems you'd think. What I read is that pirates wore an eye patch so that they always had one eye that was adjusted to the darkness, so that when they had to go below deck where it was very dark back in the day, they could see.
Let me say this. If that's the reason, that is the coolest explanation I could have imagined for that, because it's logical.
Makes perfect sense.
And it changes my entire perspective.
In the Army, we had the same thing. They trained you at night if you were out to either close your eyes or put something over your
so
you could go into a tent,
right?
That was
without
lit.
having to put a flashlight on.
That's genius. And here I was just thinking that it was kind of a stereotype that a lot of pirates had lost an eye during a sword fight.
Totally functional.
Now, what about the peg legs? Was that so that they could stick a leg in the water without feeling the wetness?
Alligators. Speaking of sword fights, my wife came to me this morning trying to convince me that my daughters should start fencing because she talked to someone whose daughter got into Stanford because she fenced. I summarily dismissed this. There are no swords in the house.
I think there's a greater chance somebody loses an eye than gets into Stanford.
And come on, you knew the people growing up who fenced.
Yeah, and I knew the ones that go.
And maybe the other fence.
You mean like stolen goods?
No. Well, either that or maybe little garden fences around things. That'd probably be a better.
Oh my God! Have you seen Carol Beckman's garden?
No, but she's amazing.
So there is a woman who works here with us and has for 30 years?
Yeah,
33 years.
And her husband is a school teacher and teaches PE, so does not have school to teach in the summer. And so every summer I find it funny, and I run into them the other day. I say, so what are you making Randy build this summer? Because every year it's something, and it's unbelievable. Like, he is an incredible craftsman. The stuff that she has had him build, it's not like a little small flower box. So she said, oh my gosh, he built me this garden. And you can't even imagine
it's been to our house.
We're going to have multiple pictures to show us.
She used to have her Facebook page for her Pyrenees because she had those dogs, and I think they were the Great Pyrenees of Vaughan Hill. I think that's what her property is called.
Right.
No, they have put so much money into this thing.
She has the eye of a decorator. She took even her office here. It's small. You go in there, it's paradise. You're like, how did she turn this small space into paradise? But she's, it's a gift. It's a gift.
It's like she combines Martha Stewart with the painter of light.
Yeah, and
you remember the painter of light?
And I think a reasonable budget. I think
you remember the painter of light?
Is that what, Kincaid?
Yeah,
I know
Thomas
she
Kincaid.
just sent me a picture. I don't know what happened. Let me see if I can find it. Either way, we will put it up.
Maybe she heard it on the podcast.
On screen.
Oh my, wouldn't that be something? We dropped that first episode this past week. It's out there now.
It is.
This thing is,
and it's killing.
It's live.
You want to get in to the millionth watcher. What'll we do?
Being on the ground floor.
Get in early. You want to get in early on this one so you can say I was there from the beginning.
And then I was the millionth watcher.
Will you please send me a picture of your garden as quickly as possible? What
time is it? I feel like
for the millionth watcher, we will all come and sleep at your house.
Oh yeah, you know what?
We'll spend the night. We'll have a pajama party.
I won't.
You know what? Why don't we do this for the 1 millionth? Why don't we take them to lunch? They could eat sandwiches with us. Not necessarily in the podcast.
And then after lunch, we'll go to your house and we'll sleep at your house.
Yes, and Terry will use the bathroom, and that'll be fine because he's only going to use 3 squares of your toilet.
That's right. Yeah.
They can take us for a ride on their spaceship, perhaps, if we're waiting till the millionth.
Hey, you know what? I think we'll get to 1 million in no time.
No, I'm joking. With this content?
Oh, are you kidding me? This is gold.
Speaking of, please don't forget to share, tell your friends.
Yeah, subscribe to it. What does it hurt you? It makes us feel like we're doing something good. It doesn't take any money or time out of your life.
And if you don't, we're going to feel like failures.
Support our sponsors.
Do you want us to feel like failures?
You want to be a guest? You have a suggestion for a guest?
We're open to
restaurant.
We're open to anything.
I have so many questions for different types of people, but we got to get them on first.
I had a good idea today for a segment.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, come on. Those pictures are terrible.
Send
me a good picture
use the F
of
word
the garden.
just for...
Can you just refer to it as the F word so that we don't have to censor anything?
Okay, what the F word happened to you?
What does that mean?
Haven't you ever seen people on the street that just
They
wonder
look a mess,
what
and
the
you just want to
them?
know the origin story of that. I do, and not for
Sounds emotional.
Not for
I have
sport.
a genuine curiosity.
Yeah.
Like, what turn
Well, then
happened?
maybe we could use a little more sensitive question to ask them.
We can leave out the F and just say,
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Even that feels judgy.
You
Yeah,
say,
I think I'd
what the hell happened
start
to
a little
you?
Take us
softer.
through your journey.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about just, hello, my name's
Well,
Andy.
yeah, but
How
then
are
There's
you?
nothing like that cutting edge, penetrating questions
They may
of an
wanna
Andy
talk
Krupa.
about
He's
their
like he's a
family.
veritable Mike Wallace.
You know, they may want to
Hello.
talk about their
Here,
family.
I don't know why
They'll
she's
say,
sending me. She's
"Why-
not sending me
why
like
am
a
I
great
here?"
picture.
And you say,
I was told there'd be a
yeah, I was
sandwich.
told to be here. And I had a terrible, I fell down like so many steps. And when I got up, I fell backwards. That's how I broke. That's where I lost the ear right there.
That's
I'd
so
be
we'll have
fascinated.
every week on the
Look, I've never
podcast. Our goal is
seen-
to make you
I'd
cry.
like people to tell you, like, what were you thinking? And when did you know it was
Like,
bad?
At what moment did you realize that you
Have
had
you
made
ever-
a serious
have you ever
misstep?
Look at this
fallen
garden
as a-
that her husband built.
That one time, you remember when I took my leg down? You made fun of it for years.
Oh, it was, in fact, I think I still would like to do a cartoon reenactment. Let's not talk
horrible,
about
but you
it
know
now.
what though? But we'll save it for another day.
Yeah,
but I will
because
say
the
this.
story is so...
When you have gone through a fall, you have a whole new respect
For falling.
for the people that have had fallen and couldn't get up.
You know,
I've been there.
I had a similar conversation
Wow.
the other night.
Wow, look at this.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, is she going to bring in tomatoes?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I wonder if she could
I wish you could
ever
see this, but I'm
possibly
not gonna
get
hold it
that
up
money
for you.
out. You know,
Beautiful.
her only hope is that the state of Illinois turns it into some sort of tourist attraction.
Yeah,
We
or like
may
a
have to-
historical landmark kind of thing.
I mean, which
Tickets.
they should. It's incredible.
You know what she
Isn't
could,
that
actually, she
unbelievable?
could do? She could make all that money back if she turned it into an Airbnb for the next 17 years.
Yeah, except
Well, that's
no
why it would
one's
take
going on
17 years.
vacation there.
No, but you know what? They'll visit
A
family.
retreat.
They visit family
Yeah.
in town. They don't want to spend for a hotel. They want a nice little place where everybody can get a room and a bathroom. And they Airbnb her
And
place.
you're not thinking about those people that have been saving for years for that trip to Alton.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, listen, Alton is not a bad place to visit.
No,
You're close to
it's great. You
Grafton.
got the
You're on
great
water
River
in the
Rock.
She
summer.
doesn't live in Alton
You got
either.
that.
No, but it's close enough to
Fast,
Grafton.
have you been to Fast Eddie's?
No, I haven't.
You never have?
I've never
What?
because I
You've
was
never
always
been
told
to- yeah.
that it was really a place to go. It was a lot of drinking there, and I
Well,
never heard anything that good about the
Oh, no,
food.
it's
so.
fun.
It's a
the
fun
food's
place.
actually good. In fact, the food is sort of their draw.
Because
their
it's
food-
cheap, but it's to get you to
dirt cheap.
right, but it's to get you to
they're-
drink the liquor.
shrimp. They have the. I've been there
They
a
have
long
great
time.
shrimp.
They pull them out of the
used to have-
Mississippi?
no, I mean they're really beautiful, big 25. Well, I don't know what it is now. 25-cent shrimp. You know, I mean that is.
I don't think it's been. I think it's been a while since
No,
you've been
no,
there.
no,
Is
I-
that-
I would-
really?
That way it was a lost
That's
leader.
each.
all.
It's not 25 cents for a dozen.
No, but I mean, but
No, but
that would be
but-
$3 for a dozen.
but
I
big-
go there every night for
big,
shrimp.
perfect shrimp, and then they have great hamburgers. It's
Maybe
what
we
it's
should
like.
go on location.
It's
the
and
a
eat
hamburgers
right
were like
there.
$1.
It's like
Still?
it's all you come
Let's
here. You're going to drink, make us rich on.
Pulling up
At
the,
one time, they
peel
were
and
the
eat
biggest purchasers
shrimps.
of Bush products in Missouri.
I can't lie to the people and make
Illinois.
believe that
Don't-
I've been there. I'm embarrassed. I know it's a landmark, but I
It
just
is a
haven't gone.
landmark,
No prices on the menu.
and
There you go.
I wonder
and
if
some of
they-
my favorite biker people hang out there. A lot of bikers.
You don't
I,
know
you know
any
what?
biker
I
people.
there are a lot of bikers
know
because
a
you
lot
got the
of
River
bikers.
Road there, which is a great place to be. A lot of bikers, you know, as you head toward like what is it, the Katy Trail, and you go out west
Well,
toward
out,
Washington.
what is it? Out to Grafton.
Yeah, Dutskow, whatever
Let's
that.
see.
Wait,
yeah,
remember
it's
when we
called
had the
Dutskow.
boat? We had a boat out
Here,
there.
food menu. Peel
We
and eat
used-
scrumps.
That's a
Man,
whole
I
other
cannot
itself.
get a price.
Well,
You know what? I think that
I mean, I just have to. Oh, here we go. Here we
all
go.
right.
Let's see.
And that's where we're going to
Burger
end
is
this
now
week.
$1.99.
and it's
hot
a
chick
it's a
on a
half
stick.
pound. It's
which is a chicken shish kebab, $3.99. Hot dog,
My God.
$1.99. Scrimps are 39 cents
My
each.
God, that's
Even
not bad.
That's still a good deal,
cheap.
especially if they're as big as he's claiming.
They're not that big, but they're delicious.
No, they're really
Anyway.
nice shrimp.
I feel like we have
We-
said it all.
We've said it all. I think there was some good stuff here this week.
I think so.
Well,
I
that'll
hope so.
be for you people.
You know,
Can't say
if
you
you
in the
want,
comments.
I want
more
to
of
hear
this.
what you feel about the DMV experience. Was I justified in that circumstance and letting off a little steam in the hopes that
No.
that something in this bureaucratic nonsense world can change? Or was I just out of line because these people are already
Yes.
miserable and there's no point trying to make them more miserable?
Well, maybe they're miserable because of people like you.
You know what? They're not. You know what? The final thought, right?
Yeah.
There's 4 types of jobs. A job that you love and you make a lot of money at, and those are the best kind.
Baseball players.
The second best kind is you love the job, but you don't make a lot of money, but you love it.
Artists,
Okay.
people in the
Exactly.
art world.
Then you have the third type. You don't enjoy it, but you make a lot of money.
Everybody makes a lot of money,
Right, for the
except
most
those
part.
few people.
And then you get the fourth category. They don't love what they do, and they don't make a lot of
that's
money.
McDonald's on
That's-
Times
that's-
Square.
that's-
That's the DMV?
But that's probably the.
I don't
Would it
think
be
that's
fair
true.
to say
I've
that's the
found
largest?
some-
Don't you think that's the largest single group?
It probably is, and that's
It's
a shame.
sad.
I think we're doing something wrong as a society
I've
if
met
that's
some
true.
lovely people at the DMV.
Man,
but
is he
on
worried
that
about
note-
getting a ticket?
Ticket? What am I going to? They don't give you tickets.
You can get tickets for not having your car properly registered. I got one in Chesterfield.
Yeah, but they don't
Um,
actually do.
You know
it.
what's interesting? I actually have to go to the DMV. I'm going to see what happens.
All right.
I
well, there
might
you go.
even go.
You know what?
to
Please,
the DePere DMV.
please go to DePere.
Yeah, and I'm
Please.
gonna start asking questions.
And if the people
Please.
actually saw this and gave you a hard time, let us know too.
yeah,
Oh my God, that would be like the answer to my prayers. Let me say this. If those people do come in contact with this video, know this. I actually did feel quite bad about the 2 insulting things that I said. No, I do. I felt bad because I know
No.
you're just people.
Stephen,
But in your official capacity in your job,
can you put
that's
lying?
like, it's like yelling
Can
at an
you
umpire.
Would you do
No,
me a
yeah.
favor?
But it's
Flash the word lying,
No,
lying,
no.
lying.
No,
You know
I
what?
did. I feel terrible. But you know what it is? It's like yelling at
Seriously,
an umpire
Steven.
and telling an umpire, "Umpire, you're blind. You missed the call. Check your phone. You're missing calls left and right."
Lying,
Like, but you're
lying,
saying it to
lying,
the role, not to
lying,
the human being.
I would
lying.
When I
love-
called you morons, I was speaking to your role.
that's right.
And the manner with which you went about your
Wait,
job,
you-
not
you-
as a human being.
But you told me before you didn't call them a moron like a low intelligence person. You were using the French word moron, which is a fine person who's in a tough situation.
Who
tough
likes
spot.
meringue? Yeah, I think it'd be fun to have those people on if they'd come on and just kind of talk out what happened. Let's talk it out.
I
Yeah,
bet
well,
you they got
you know,
some great.
All right, we got to go.
Okay, let's go. But
Okay.
if we should, and if we do that, I want to ask her about a bathroom trip
He
that
said
she
doo-doo.
took, even though it was not a scheduled break. But that's for another day.
Oh God, now he's policing their brakes.
That's what we call a cliffhanger.
That's
Yeah.
it, folks.
Thank
You'll
you.
have to tune in next time.
That's all, folks.
Goodbye.